Bill Carroll, Zenny62 Media, and it is an interesting time of year for me because when you're watching, months later after you may have watched the first time, sometimes you are struck by how differently you view a player. That maybe you were more excited about the first time you watched them, or vice versa. Sometimes you are less excited about a player, um, but your opinion, despite the fact that nothing has changed other than you're watching the player a second time. And these are two players that my opinion changed in the favorable. Like I like them even better more than I did watching them live originally. Now that time has passed, I'm going to start with a player that has become one of my favorite corners. And for some reason, I mean, I certainly liked it. I certainly was impressed, but I have been more impressed on second viewings. And this, of course, is Trevin Gradney. Now, Trevin Gradney is a player that plays at a high level in the FCS, right? Big Sky is, depending on what year you catch them, no worse than the third best conference in all of the football championship subdivision, and sometimes second best, and right there fighting neck and neck sometimes with the Missouri Valley Conference. I think last year they top to bottom in terms of being competitive. I think they might have been maybe the second best last year, but just to Mr. Gradney. Good size. I'm going to guess about 5'11" and 5'8", and probably about 189 pounds. And first of all, he got off to a ridiculously hot start. He was on such a heater as the season began. I think in the first 4 games, I think he had an interception in all of those games. Ended up with 5 on the season. And of course, that coming against Montana State, that his fifth, his final one, the season coming against Montana State. Obviously, they're it's the game of the century when they play each other. Those games are always amazing to watch. And he had that in the fourth quarter that led to the game-sealing touchdown just a couple plays later. So once again, a guy who understands when to make the right play in those games. He missed 2 games, but in the games that he played last year, he ended up leading the team in interceptions and passes defense. He batted down 17 passes to go with, or in addition to the passes he intercepted. He also had 17 solo tackles of his 27 tackles last year. He had additional 7 pass breakups. He's picked off 17 passes in his entire career, I believe. And in addition, he also recovered a fumble. No, forced a fumble. He had a forced fumble as well. Was in 15 out of the 13 games they played. Like I said, did have 2 games he missed due to injury. And he also received a team-wide award. He's going to be wearing the number 37 jersey, which is a huge honor at Montana. And last year was Levi Giancarlo. He's going to be seen as essentially, I don't know if he's going to be named a captain, though he probably will be, but he's a de facto captain just because he's going to be wearing the 37 jersey. Smart, tough. I mean, at that program, you see a lot of players that you would describe as, gritty, pick a term. And he certainly falls into those categories. But he had 5 tackles against Ferris State, so he's not afraid to mix it up and come up, hard sometimes in run support. He can turn and run. He's probably not blazing fast. He seems to be more like a zone fit as opposed to a guy in a pure man system. But if he runs in the mid 4.5s, he should still end up at a camp. If he runs anything less than, say, 4.54, someone should draft him. Frankly, someone should draft him unless he runs in the 4.6s, in my opinion. But people tendency to, sort of give that scratch and dent discount just because of players playing at the FCS level. My next player is Ben Noland. And once again, small school at South Dakota. Once again, similar part of the country, but South Dakota Mines, the Hard Rockers, which is one of my favorite. It's up there. Ore Diggers, like that conference has some great names for the teams. But he just had a ridiculous season as well. He was a finalist, at least a nominee for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is the Division II version of the quote-unquote Heisman. He was an All-American from College Football Network, Associated Press, second team, Division II All-American, and made Don Hanson's honorable mention. Don Hanson's a tough grader, but just was a Division II CCA All-Region player. RMAC, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, all first team. And once again, what didn't he do last year? Single season record for the program, 15 receiving touchdowns, which was sixth in the nation. Had 16 receptions in one game against Colorado School of Mines. He averaged 8.4 receptions per game, had 92 catches, third in the country, and 1,184 receiving yards as a punt returner, right? Because, why wouldn't he also do that? Very solid, 9.7 yards per return, which is number 18 in the nation at Division II level. Ben Noland is a guy who probably won't be drafted. However, I'd love to see him get invited to at least a Shrine Game. But if he gets to the Senior Bowl and has a great week, he has a chance. Now, he's going to have a terrific degree from a terrific school, whatever happens. He's going to be just fine. But I really, really, really want Ben Noland to get a chance to go to one of the bigger bowl games, all-star games, and show what he can do. I really think he has potential. Once again, another guy's speed is going to be a big deal. If he runs in the mid-4.5s or faster, he has an outside shot of being drafted. But more likely he's an undrafted free agent. But like I said, he's going to have a great degree from a great school. Big fan of both those players, and I look forward to seeing what comes to them next. I will have 2 more players for you tomorrow. Thank you once again. Bill Carroll, Gradney Media, working through my college football watch list and, of course, for the draft to follow. See you soon.